If your 2014 to 2021 5.7 liter Tundra is in need of some character when it comes to the sound, this carbon exhaust single side exit exhaust system with the polished tip will be a great option to take a look at. Now, getting right into sound, as you just heard, this will offer the deep and aggressive tones that you may be looking for out of your 5.7 liter without an excessive amount of volume. So I'm giving this a 3 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being stock and 5 being wake the neighbors loud. Now, this will offer a pretty mild increase in volume, just not over the top, but what's great about this system and that feature is that this is going to create a comfortable cab environment with minimal to no noise or drone, making it great for the day-to-day driver. Now, not to mention, you get to keep the classic appearance with the large polished tip on the back, and of course, it's going to give you some extra style points compared to the factory one. Now, this will feature again that deep tone and extra volume at idle, when cruising, and definitely at acceleration, which won't fail to put a smile on your face, but it's also going to turn some heads and up the street appeal of your Tundra. Now, with the high flow build, the system will also increase some performance as far as your horsepower, torque, and even efficiency is concerned, just by allowing the 5.7 liter to breathe better. Now, again, this without exception will outshine your factory exhaust system when it comes to looks as well, with the 4-inch angle cut polished stainless steel exhaust tip on the back. Now, this won't just sound and perform well, but it's going to be built well too, with a 2.5 to 3-inch mandrel bent 304 stainless steel construction for outstanding rust resistance. Now, again, this is also going to feature that polished 4-inch tip on the back, and the entire system is going to be completely TIG welded and made right here in the USA. Now, this also won't require any cutting or modification, with a simple bolt-on install, and will come with all the hardware that you need to do it. Now, this will come in at about $775, making this one of the more premium choices for a single side exit system. Now, other options similar to this on the page may just take a different approach when it comes to the build, with a more mild 409 stainless or even an aluminized steel construction, which will hold up great in their own. However, this 304 will provide the best rust resistance out of the three. Now, you'll also see other choices with different sound levels and finishes, as to where this again is going to be right in the middle while offering the classic appearance compared to a stealthier black option. Now, I think if you're looking to keep it simple while getting premium sound and a top-notch build, then this is going to be a great pick. Now, install will be straightforward, like I mentioned, but I am still going to give it a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and it's going to take you about 2 hours to get the job done with the right hand tools. At this point, we can head over to the shop and check out a detailed breakdown of the install process step by step. So that wraps it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
For this install, you will need an impact, 14, 15, and in our case, a 17mm socket, 8mm Allen bit, 15mm wrench in our case, and exhaust hanger pliers. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be installing a new exhaust on our Tundra, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a short video on how to uninstall your factory setup, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right, so before we can get started installing our new exhaust, we're going to go ahead and get our factory one off. We're going to show you how to do that while keeping our factory pipe intact. Obviously, if you plan on never reusing your original equipment, muffler and exhaust pipe, you can just cut it and make it a lot easier to remove off of your truck, to be quite honest with you. But this is a fleet vehicle, so this installation is not going to be permanent. So we're going to show you how to get it all out in one piece. Let's go ahead and get started. One thing I would recommend doing before you get going here, let your exhaust cool down if you've been driving your truck, and also get in there with some lubricating oil and spray up the little rubber hangers. That'll make popping those metal hangers out of the rubber a lot easier. All right, now to get started, like I already said, guys, I'm gonna make sure everything's cooled down. These first 2 bolts that we're gonna take out are right by a catalytic converter, which gets really hot. And we've been letting our truck sit for like an hour and it's still pretty warm. I also recommend having eyewear and some gloves while you work with your exhaust. Exhaust pipes tend to have sharp edges to them, not to mention the surfaces being hot as well. So let's go ahead and get these out. Our factory bolts are 14mm. All right, same 14mm socket for these 2 bolts as well. Now we're gonna have a total of 4 rubber hangers like this, guys, and to be quite honest with you, if you're trying to keep your pipe intact like we are, you can do these in any order that you want. We're kind of doing it the way it might be easiest for us to demonstrate for you. So we're at the one that's all the way obviously back here by our spare tire. And you might see a little bit of wetness here on the rubber. I sprayed some penetrating oil on there earlier just to let it sink in. That makes these coming off a lot easier. All right, guys, now this is the 4th out of 4 rubber hangers. So obviously once we pop this one loose, you gotta make sure your pipe is supported in some kind of way.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we've shown you how to remove your factory system, we can begin installing our new setup here. And we're going to begin with our shorter side flange pipe here. We're going to go ahead and get that in place, get it seated, and then we can reinstall our 2 factory 14mm bolts. Both sides here. And then we have that on. We're gonna snug them down with our 14mm socket on our impact. We're not gonna fully tighten them yet, just in case we need to make any adjustments. And you always wanna make sure it's seated on your gasket there. And then we can move on to our next flange pipe. Now we can get our passenger side flange pipe on. Go ahead and get our 14mm bolt in here. Now this top bolt here should also be a 14mm bolt from the factory. Ours ran into a little thread issue, so we had to alter it a little bit. So ours is a 17mm bolt here now, along with a 15mm nut. But again, yours from the factory should be a 14 with a welded nut on the backside. So these just snug down a little bit. Again, here with our 14. And up top, we will have to use a 17 as well as a 15 wrench. Now we're going to get ready to install our muffler section, which is also our 2-to-1 section. So we'll go ahead and grab our 2.5 inch clamps, slide them over our mid pipes. And once we have our 2 link pipes here into our muffler section, we'll go ahead and get our hangers in place. Slide our first one in, and we can get our passenger side one in. These tend to be a little bit tight, so you have to work with them. And just push it up into place. Slide that on. Now we can go ahead and get our rear hanger here for our muffler section on. Again, this one's a little bit tight. If you pull it back and push up in, just give it a little wiggle, should pop right on. Next we can get our over axle portion on. So we'll go ahead and slide our 3-inch clamp over our muffler section here. We'll slide our over axle pipe into position. We'll get that seated into our slip joint here. And we're just going to leave that loose for now so we can install our tail section. Now we can get our tail section in place. We're going to grab our last 3-inch clamp here, slip that over. I'll slip this up into place. And once you get that in, we'll work our last hanger on. Go ahead and work that isolator onto the hanger. Slip that into place. Make sure it's pointing where we want it. Now we can work our way back up and tighten everything down, make any adjustments we need to make. And we'll get our clamp into place here. We'll tighten this down using our 15mm socket on our impact. We'll work our way up. We'll go ahead and tighten this one down again with our 15mm socket. Now we can go ahead and tighten our flange bolts down with our 14mm socket. Now we can go ahead and get our tip installed. Go ahead and slide it into place here. And you can set it how you want it. You can follow it flush with your body lines here. Have your slash cut facing up. Or you can poke it out a little bit if you'd like. We're gonna leave ours with a nice flush finish here. And we'll tighten that down using our 8mm Allen bit on our impact. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our carbon exhaust single exhaust system with polished tip and side exit for your 14 to 21 5.7 liter Tundra. Thank you for watching, and as always, for everything Tundra, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.